Welcome back to a channel where we dive deep into the stories everyone's talking about, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one because what happened at the Wall Street Journal Innovator Awards is still sending shockwaves across the internet. If you're new here or just passing by, hit that subscribe button right now because we bring you the unfiltered truth behind every viral moment, and this community thrives on keeping it real together. Hailey Bieber stepped onto the stage at the 2025 Wall Street Journal Innovator Awards on October 29th in New York City, dressed in a sleek black gown, ready to accept the Beauty Innovator Award for her brand Rhode Skin. What should have been a triumphant moment quickly turned into something else entirely. The speech she delivered was supposed to celebrate creativity, boldness, and innovation in the beauty industry, but instead, it became the latest talking point for millions online who couldn't stop dissecting every word, every pause, and every glance down at her notes. The clip of her acceptance speech spread like wildfire across social media platforms, especially on X, which used to be called Twitter. People weren't praising her words or congratulating her achievement. Instead, they were mocking the way she delivered them. Comments flooded in calling her tone robotic, overly rehearsed, and stiff. Some went as far as joking that her speech sounded like it was generated by ChatGPT, while others pointed out that she spent most of the time reading directly from note cards instead of speaking from the heart. Hailey began her speech by explaining what being an innovator meant to her personally. She described an innovator as someone who brings a fresh perspective to a crowded space, someone who can merge different worlds together and create something new and unexpected. She talked about not being afraid to go left when everyone else is telling you to go right. The message itself wasn't necessarily bad, but the delivery is what caught everyone's attention for the wrong reasons. She went on to discuss her journey with Rhode Skin, emphasizing that she never wanted it to be just another skincare brand. She wanted it to be a beauty brand that could thrive and grow because of the quality of products and the community who believes in it. She talked about building an entire world that didn't have any borders or boundaries of what a skincare brand is, or should be. Her words painted a picture of ambition and vision, but the way she presented them felt disconnected and scripted to many viewers. Toward the end of her speech, Hailey acknowledged other founders in the beauty industry. She said that making the decision to believe wholeheartedly in your ideas and launch a brand takes an immense amount of guts, and she applauded anyone who takes that leap of faith. She celebrated every founder who was on the journey alongside her. It was meant to be a moment of solidarity and recognition, but the internet had already made up its mind about how the entire thing came across. Once the video started circulating online, the reactions came pouring in fast and furious. Users on X began tearing apart not just what she said, but how she said it. One person wrote that this was the perfect example of when education is useful and shows the importance of higher education, implying that Hailey's delivery lacked polish or depth. Another comment suggested she needed to read from cards so she wouldn't risk using the same speeches as Selena Gomez, which was a direct jab referencing the ongoing comparisons between the two women. Someone else called it embarrassing and questioned what anyone could expect from someone who didn't finish high school. That comment sparked even more debate about whether formal education has anything to do with public speaking skills or authenticity. Others pointed out that she barely looked up from her notes during the entire speech, comparing it to a teleprompter moment gone wrong. The criticism kept piling up, with people dissecting every detail of those few minutes on stage. What made the situation even more intense is that it reignited old comparisons between Hailey and Selena Gomez, particularly when it comes to their respective beauty brands. Hailey's Rhode competes in the same space as Selena's Rare Beauty, and fans of both women have been vocal about their preferences. Many people online felt that Hailey's speech didn't carry the same emotional weight or authenticity that Selena often brings when she talks about Rare Beauty. Selena has been open about how her brand focuses on mental health awareness and authenticity, themes that resonate deeply with her audience. This isn't the first time Hailey has addressed being compared to others, especially Selena. In a recent interview with the Wall Street Journal, she opened up about how frustrating it is to constantly be pitted against other people. She said she didn't ask for that kind of comparison, and that when people want to see you a certain way and have made up a story about you in their minds, it's not up to you to change that. Her words reflected the exhaustion that comes with being scrutinized and judged based on narratives others have created. Despite the ongoing tension fueled by fans and social media users, Selena Gomez herself has stepped in more than once to defend Hailey. After Hailey was mocked for answering a question related to rare beauty, Selena posted on her Instagram story urging people to leave the girl alone. She wrote that Hailey can say whatever she wants and that it doesn't affect her life whatsoever. Selena emphasized that the conversation is about relevance, not intelligence, and she encouraged everyone to be kind. She also mentioned that all brands inspire her and that there is room for everyone, hoping that people could all stop the negativity. The history between these two women goes back years and centers around Justin Bieber. Hailey married Justin in 2018, but before that, he had an on and off relationship with Selena that lasted nearly 8 years. That connection has been the foundation for endless speculation, comparisons, and side-by-side scrutiny. Despite both Hailey and Selena repeatedly asking fans to stop fueling their rivalry, the connection through Justin continues to be a focal point in nearly every conversation involving either of them. The viral moment from the Wall Street Journal event highlights how quickly things can spiral on social media. What started as an awards ceremony meant to honor innovation in the beauty industry turned into a dissection of tone, delivery, and authenticity. People weren't just commenting on what Hailey said, but analyzing how she said it, how she held herself, and whether her words felt genuine or rehearsed. The note cards became a symbol of something larger, a perceived lack of spontaneity or emotional connection. For Hailey, this isn't the first time her public appearances have sparked debate, and it likely won't be the last. The pressure of being in the spotlight, especially when constantly compared to someone else, creates an environment where every move is watched and every word is dissected. The speech at the Wall Street Journal Innovator Awards was supposed to be a celebration of her achievements with rhode skin, but instead, it became another chapter in the ongoing conversation about her public image. The beauty industry itself is filled with competition and constant innovation. Brands are always trying to stand out, to offer something different, and to connect with consumers in meaningful ways. Hailey's rhode skin has carved out its own space, building a loyal community and releasing products that have gained attention. But the challenge for any founder, especially one with a high profile, is balancing business success with public perception. Every statement, every appearance, and every speech becomes part of the brand story. Social media amplifies everything. A speech that might have been briefly mentioned in the past now becomes a viral moment that millions of people watch, comment on, and share. The speed at which opinions form and spread is staggering. Within hours of the video being posted, countless users had already formed judgments, created memes, and written critiques. The internet doesn't wait for context or nuance. It reacts instantly, and those reactions shape the narrative. The comparison to ChatGPT-generated content is particularly interesting because it speaks to a broader concern about authenticity in the digital age. People crave genuine connection and real emotion, especially from public figures they follow. When a speech feels too polished or too scripted, it can come across as inauthentic, even if the words themselves are thoughtful. The delivery matters just as much as the message, and in Hailey's case, the delivery overshadowed everything else she was trying to communicate. The beauty community is vast and diverse, with founders from all backgrounds launching brands that reflect their unique perspectives. Hailey acknowledged this in her speech, celebrating the courage it takes to launch a brand and build something from the ground up. But in the aftermath of the viral moment, those words felt lost in the noise of criticism and comparison. The substance of what she was trying to say got buried under commentary about how she said it. For those watching this unfold, it's a reminder of how challenging it can be to navigate public life. Every appearance is an opportunity, but also a risk. Every speech is a chance to connect, but also a moment that could be misunderstood or misinterpreted. Hailey's experience at the Wall Street Journal Innovator Awards is a case study in how quickly things can shift from celebration to scrutiny. The relationship between Hailey and Selena, mediated through Justin Bieber, continues to be a source of fascination for millions. Fans take sides, create theories, and analyze every interaction, even when the women themselves have asked for peace. Selena's public defense of Hailey shows a level of maturity and empathy that stands in contrast to the hostility often found online. Her message that there is room for everyone is a powerful one, but it's also one that gets drowned out by louder voices demanding drama and conflict. As this story continues to circulate, it raises questions about what we expect from public figures and how we consume content. Do we want perfection or authenticity? Do we want polished speeches or raw emotion? The answer is probably somewhere in between, but finding that balance is incredibly difficult when every moment is captured, shared, and analyzed. Hailey's speech at the Wall Street Journal Innovator Awards will likely be remembered not for what she said about innovation or beauty, but for how it became another viral moment in the ongoing saga of comparisons and criticism. If you've made it this far, you're exactly the kind of viewer this channel needs, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button and become part of this community where we break down the stories that matter and keep the conversation going. Let's continue to watch, discuss, and understand the world of celebrity culture together because there's always more to uncover.